from what you've heard, what you've read, and in your own mind, what sort of cricket do you think we will end up getting this summer?
From an international perspective, I think people are pretty hopeful that we might get 6 tests, 6 ODIs, 6 T20s. That's what's planned between about July the 8th and the second week of September. Virtually wall-to-wall cricket, if West Indies agree to come, if Pakistan agree to come, and if the government give the go-ahead for behind closed doors biosecure cricket. From a domestic point of view, I'm a bit more gloomy, actually, about the prospects because you need a greater number of stadiums, of teams involved. And if there isn't the rationale for putting it on television to fulfill the broadcast contract, then I'm a bit more gloomy about that. From a recreational point of view, again, pretty gloomy until the government moved to really seriously ease the kind of lockdown that we're under. So the best hope at the moment is for men's international cricket.
What then from the players' point of view, and we'll start with Joe Root in the Test side, who, if it does go ahead, will kick off the international summer. How do you think they'll be feeling about going into these biosecure environments? You know, as we rightly said, Joe Root's wife is pregnant. Is he going to be there for the birth? Are they going to infect any of their family members when they come out? What do you think their internal discussions they're having with their family will be?
Well, I can't speak for everyone, but what we're hearing and listening to Joe there and reading is I think we're in a better position than maybe football, where there's a little bit of infighting, top clubs, bottom clubs, relegation. There's a bit of looking after yourselves in that. I think with cricket and cricketers, from what we're seeing with the England cricketers, is I think they are fairly keen to get on and play and do their jobs. Cricketers are no different from anyone else out there. Whatever the Prime Minister says on Sunday, whatever gets opened up, eventually all of us will have to make the decision, are we willing to take a risk to carry on with our lives? And the fundamental issue has always got to be the health and safety of that individual. Whatever happens, whatever Tom Harrison says to the select committee about a £380 million loss or whatever the state of the game and cricket and fans want you to, Joe Root has to think about himself, his family, his kid on the way, his wife, and make a grown-up decision. But that is no different from anyone else that gets on the 7 o'clock on Greater Anglia going into town after all this and has to think, am I safe? And as long as the ECB, I think the ECB have absolutely been brilliant in giving the players the information that they need, and then the players themselves will make a decision, and you can bet that the ECB will not hold it against them. It's like us at Sky. People have told us, if you don't want to go and commentate, you don't go and commentate. But we will have to make that decision as well. Are we willing to take that risk?
Are there any moral issues for either of you of taking up potential testing kits just to get some sport on?
I think everybody I've spoken to in the game is very wary about that. And that's why they will want the testing to be up and running for key frontline workers, for key workers, key personnel, before any chance of sport back. I mean, there may be a situation where the ECB buys some testing equipment. I think they can for about 40 grand a pop or something. And clearly testing will be a key part of the return to biosecure cricket. But I don't think anybody would like to see a situation where sport is given any kind of preference whatsoever. That would be totally unacceptable. So key frontline personnel first. And once all that is in place, then sport can take its rightful place, which is a bit behind everybody else.
If the men are going to get international cricket, if the women are going to get international cricket, they need teams to play against. They're reliant on West Indies, South Africa, Australia, India, whoever, getting on aircraft.
Yeah, and let's be honest, the reputation of England, of the UK at the moment, with the numbers and the figures, if you were living in Barbados or the West Indies now, and you heard some of the figures that have come out recently, would you be willing, the same comment I just made about players, would you be willing to risk it to come to the UK to play a game of cricket? I'm not so sure. I think our cricketers are, because we're here and they understand this biosecure environment. It's been explained to them, but I'm not sure that's going to be the biggest challenge, is telling someone abroad at the moment, jump on a plane and fly to England. Would you have gone to Italy a month ago? I'm not so sure you would have done. So let's hope the situation and the figures and the numbers, for so many different reasons, not cricketing reasons, let's be honest, let's hope things improve. And if things can improve, then somewhere down the line, lesser important things like cricket hopefully will improve.
I'll just ask you about the 100, Michael, and what Richard Gould was saying there. Tom Harrison was leaving away the payments from the counties out of the profit and loss of what will potentially be a profit or non-profit first year for the 100, as and when that is. He thinks these payments to counties should be included in the P&L. Do you agree?
I think it's semantics a little bit. I think what people have lost sight of is what the 100 is about, and I think it's about control for the ECB. They don't control anything at the moment. But with a tournament like the 100, they get control over data, over television rights, and I think people have slightly lost sight of that. It's about controlling a key asset in the game. The semantics over whether you call it a dividend or a cost are a little bit by the by.
And there'll be some club cricketers out there, Nasser, that want to get their whites on.
They will be hanging on every word the Prime Minister says on Sunday. Look at this weather. Bank holiday weekend coming up. The grounds, every time I run past my local cricket ground, it's absolutely perfect. They'll be desperate.